Today's guest is Amy Todd, the Director of the Chamber of Commerce. Amy, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about the big event on the horizon, the Good Neighbor Day Parade.
Yes.
You guys run every year. That's your baby. And let's just talk about what's the theme this year.
So the theme is superheroes. We've been excited to do that. We were hoping to do that last year, and as you know, because of COVID. We had to cancel the parade. We're excited to go through with it this year. I think everybody's really happy to see it come back.
Oh, that's great. And has there been any changes this year that we should expect?
So yes, the route will be different, and it will be the same route from here on out. We have shortened the route for many reasons, but the route will now end at TF South, and we will not be going to Torrance any longer into Landoak Park.
Have you gotten any positive feedback, that the parade is back?
Positive feedback on that, and actually on the route, because the route was a little too long for a lot of our participants. It got a little crazy up on Torrance at some points. So for safety and other reasons, we have shortened it, and people seem to be okay with it, and hopefully they understand it's just the new normal.
And remind us again of the date, and then if anybody wants to register still.
Sure. It's Saturday, May 1st this year, and you can still register up until a week before the parade. We actually have a lot of applications coming in now, which is great. Started off a little slow, I think, just because people were waiting to see what the state was doing. So,
right.
Yeah. And they can register online on our chamberoflansing.com website. They can download a form and drop it off, send it to us.
Great. Well, we look forward to seeing the parade, and
yes.
Hopefully you'll get your registration done. So we're looking forward to that. But one thing I do want to talk about is the parade. Last year we didn't have it because of COVID. So I would like to talk directly about COVID now.
Sure.
And how did that impact the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, greatly. It impacted every event that we do because we do so many community events. It impacted just our networking events that we host for our members, and so many businesses had to close, as you know, for different periods of time. They weren't allowed to be open, weren't allowed to have people in. We lost many good businesses in town because of it, and a lot of those were chamber members. So it was a very hard time for everybody. Chamber office was open every day, and I just tried to be there as much as I can and offer as much support to my members that I could in different ways.
What are some ways that you supported the members?
So just keeping them updated on the regulations from the state. As you know, they changed frequently, how many people were allowed in, just times of things that you were allowed to do. It was constantly changing. It was very confusing at times. And I wanted to be the one who could get that information to my members as quickly as possible.
Right.
So they knew, how to plan for their own business. And we also, were there just for support as far as for the businesses that were open and had to change everything they do, like the restaurants did. Everything about how they would normally conduct business had to change. And it was a learning curve for everybody. And so our job was to help promote them and to show all of the things they were doing. Were they doing curbside pickup? Were they now doing delivery? Maybe restaurants who hadn't before. Just all of those different things. We wanted to let people know what was going on and just be there as much as we could, and, just be in the office if they needed to come in and talk. I had a lot of members come in just sort of to talk about what was going on. And
so communication was a clear
absolutely
key to this.
Yes.
Making sure you're communicating to the community as well as to the businesses, and kind of facilitating the in-between there.
Absolutely.
Well, it has been a rough time with COVID, and the good thing is it seems like we're coming near the end of the journey of at least things shutting down. So
right.
That means that the Chamber is getting some opportunities to do events that we come to expect of them. What's some of the events coming up? I know we have a wine walk coming up.
We do. So we were able to have our first wine walk in the fall of 2019, and we had one planned for 2020, which didn't happen. So this year, because it was such a fun event, it was such a great success, we're going to do two this year. We're going to do a spring and a fall.
Okay.
So our first one is on May 8th, Saturday, where right now you can register online to be a part of it. It's really great for our businesses. We bring people into the town. They get to taste wine at different members who sign up to be stops. They get to do a little shopping. They might see a store that they didn't know was there. And it brings people into town to spend their money here and to keep it local.
And if they want to be a part of that event, they just have to contact the chamber?
Yes, register right online, pay online. It's a really fun event, and we're going to have one in the fall as well.
Well, we're looking forward to that too. And we've got two other big events this summer. Well, one over the summer, one I think more towards the fall.
Yes.
So the first one is the golf outing?
Yes, so we have a golf outing for our members. It doesn't have to be members only. It can be any prospective members or any other businesses in town that would like to participate. It's a fun day. Come out for a day of networking with your fellow chamber members. It's get out of work for a day. It's in June, so generally the weather is nice. We
I'll
hope.
get out of work for a day.
Yes, right. You guys should come. We would love to have you. And it's just a fun day. It's something that it'll be our 55th golf outing this year for the chamber. So we're excited about that.
Another big one that we look forward to, and the last one is something that we see yearly from you, but we've changed it to September recently.
Yes.
And that is the Loop Bike Ride. So you want to talk a little bit, remind people why we changed it to September and how they might register for that?
Sure. So we always had the Loop in July. We had it for about 7 years. And the last few years, we had just torrential rain. It always happened on that day. And it was so bad, we had to cut the ride in half and just end it for 2 years in a row because of the rain. So we thought, let's try September, let's bring it to the fall. So we did that 2 years ago, and we loved it. It was a great event. The weather was wonderful. We were able to use the Fox Point Pavilion, which is phenomenal to use for an event. And last year, we were able to have the Loop, even in 2020, because it was an outdoor event.
There was social distancing.
We put a lot of different things in place. We didn't actually, congregate. We didn't use the pavilion. We kind of had people line up, keep their distance, and we started people at slightly different times so we just wouldn't have that giant group together.
Right.
We did what we could do for people, and it still just turned out.
It was a great success.
Yes,
yeah.
It was fantastic. So we are planning to do that again. And hopefully by September, we're going to be able to do a little more and have sort of the after party that we would normally have, which is really just hot dogs and food and, music, things like that. So we're hoping to get right back to that.
Well, it's one thing that I think the chamber, it's always good to let people know the chamber's out there with these events for the community, something to bring people together, bring
Yes.
businesses together as well. So
Yes.
kind of merge it too. And I think we really appreciate it, I know, here, and I think a lot of the community does.
Thank you.
It seems from their response.
Thank you.
Some other things to talk about. There's a new business that, it's kind of ironic because, not ironic, but it's interesting because you're with Mancino's and you have on the other side is the chamber, and right in the middle,
Yes.
also going to be involved with you is a new business we could talk about.
Yes, thank you. It's a wine bar. It's called Pour on Roy. We've been working on it for the last year. It's my family's business. Worked very hard on it. It is absolutely beautiful. We're just ecstatic at the way that it's turned out. And we're looking to be open probably by the second week of April. And we'll also be participating in the Chamber Wine Walk.
Of course. Well,
Yes.
how could you not?
Right?
How could you not participate? You're not going to be in the wine walk? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, we'll definitely check it out. Maybe sometime after work, I'll stop by there, and
You should.
the crew will, and
Absolutely.
have a
Come
glass
on in.
or
We'd
two.
love to show it to you.
Yes. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Thank you.
And I guess lastly, we've talked a lot about the events that you do. We've talked a lot about COVID. We've talked about new businesses. We've talked about your relations with businesses. So we've gone over all that. That's a lot to unpack. But you, Amy, Todd, I ask this question a lot. But year after year, things change. How are you feeling as director? Do you love what you're doing? And why do you why do you keep being the director of the Chamber of Commerce?
I do love what I do, absolutely. I've met the best people. I've been in this town my whole life, but I didn't know a lot of our business community until I got involved in the Chamber of Commerce. And I experience a lot of the same things that they do with my own businesses. So it's easy for me to help them in ways that I know that they need help with advertising and promoting. Anything that the Chamber can do for our members, I mean, we're willing to do it. It brings a sense of community to the group of businesses that are part of the Chamber. We do a lot of events, monthly networking. People really enjoy getting together, not only just for the social aspect of it, but, hey, what can you do for me, and what can, your business do for others? And it's just a way of sharing the information about what your business does. It just is, it's a wonderful group of people, and we're very excited because this year has really opened back up. We have had so many new people join the Chamber, so many new businesses that are coming into town and they're joining the Chamber, and we're ecstatic by that.
That's great. And
Thank
as
you.
always, we're just happy to have you here in town.
Thank you.
So, and thank you again for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Inside Lansing.